Greetings folks, Dunman here. Today we explore something that I really hope grows into a series. Throughout human history, people have believed in many faiths, and one of the oldest ones has left a permanent mark on the surface of the planet. This would be the collection of myths and beliefs of the Egyptian civilization. So today, I put my abilities of art and imagination to work to try and create concepts of how some of the mythical characters of the Egyptian mythology would be incorporated into our beloved game, Minecraft. Alright then, on that note, let's start with the bird. The bird in question is an ancient Egyptian deity by the name of Bennu. Visually, this guy takes the form of a heron wearing a crown. But the role Bennu played, according to Egyptian mythology in the creation of the world, and the sort of things that it's associated with, are what really interest me, as they could translate very well into a unique and interesting function in the game. Now, if you've seen the last two episodes in this almost series, then you know that I try to give the creatures that I create some sort of purpose in the game. I try to come up with ideas of how they could naturally merge in and mix with the already existing features. So when real-world culture offers up interesting ideas, it's better for me making these kind of videos. Bennu is referred to as he who came into being by himself. He was this self-created being who played a role in the creation of the world. So here's how I'm going to use all of those ideas to make a somewhat plausible Minecraft mob. Now, this video differs a lot from the potential new warden type creatures video, because that sort of fits way more easily into the game than something like this, which comes off as seeming very modded, if you know what I mean. So, in order to sort of keep these creatures and their weird functions in a sort of world of their own, I am going to confine most of their features to a new structure. The big red woodshed! No, I'm just kidding. It's the pyramids. Of course it's the pyramid. Bennu is also associated with rebirth, which is the feature that we're going to capitalize on. Now, what I'm going to be introducing is a totem of undying type function, which gives you an extra life. But since the totem already exists, I'm going to have to make this feature way different from how you would stop yourself from dying using the totems. I'm going to add something that you don't see much of in Minecraft, a feature based on the day and night cycle. I am going to add a new enchantment to the game, and make note of this one, because this idea may turn up in future videos. This enchantment will be called a favorite of the gods. Having this enchantment on your armor means that you have now activated a new tier of things that you can explore. As I make more videos, this feature will kind of become more and more significant. But for now, let me explain how it interacts with the Bennu and all of its features. If you have a piece of armor with the enchantment favorite of the gods, and you are able to be within 50 blocks of a pyramid during a sunrise, there will be a 5 to 6% chance that this bird will make itself visible to you. Once you see Bennu, you will be hit with the rebirth effect, which basically means that when you die after getting it, you don't. It works as a totem, but the thing is, after you've died once, the effect goes away. Now I realize that 5% seems like a very low percentage to get something like this, but the thing is, the totem is inside a giant mansion full of axe murderers, so I think this is fair. Plus, you're probably going to spend a lot of time near the pyramids anyways, since they're going to be a pretty cool structure. So yeah, you will be blessed with more life when you see Bennu. Now let's go to something that'll give you less life. But before that, just have you subscribed? You wouldn't want to not be subscribed. That's not a pleasant group of people. Amit, the devourer of the dead. 1 part hippo, 1 part lion, and 1 part crocodile. This is an extremely horrendous way to find out you really haven't been a good person and don't get to go to the good afterlife. The Egyptians believed that after you die, the god Anubis judges your hearts using a pair of scales. He weighed your hearts against the feather of the goddess of truth. If you were A-okay, then you were allowed to pass and go to the good afterlife with Osiris and all the happiness that comes with that. But if you weren't quite that good of a guy, then your heart was fed to this monstrosity. And then your soul was set to be left in perpetual restlessness. What the hell does that even mean? That is the most horrible visualization of the afterlife, which I can't even visualize all that good. Barely comprehend it. But that does give me a good idea on how to incorporate this thing into the game. And the thing is, this is gonna be weird because it's a weird, cool, creative way of how I'm gonna use this thing. So you're not quite gonna get it until the end of the video, which I know sounds like a ploy for you to get the end of the video, but basically the feature has two parts. The second part is intertwined with the final creature, so I have to explain this, and then I'll go to the final creature, and then it'll all make sense at the end. So yeah, basically, the pyramid will have a bunch of challenges that will make you choose between ethical and unethical options. Will you let a few animals perish in order to get a few riches, some gold or iron or something? Will you let a nearby village get covered with lava? Or would you rather have some diamonds? Basically, the various challenges in the pyramid test your ethics and record them as well. The final mob that sits at the center of the pyramid, well, when you're facing him, you might kinda die. But not die completely. The thing is, dying against the challenge of the final mob will not just kill you, it will take you into a sort of smaller dimension, a version of the scales of the duat. If you chose ethically, you'd save the animals, save the village, sacrifice your personal gain in order to help others, then you will be allowed to respawn outside of the pyramid and try the challenge all over again. But if the scales tell you that you have been a bad person because you chose greed over good, then the gate to the chamber that you're inside will open, and Amit will devour you. The third and the final mob that we have today, which is also probably one of the most recognizable entities in all of human history, is the mighty Sphinx. The thing is, creating a definitive version of the Sphinx is kind of impossible, because so many peoples throughout so many times have used the Sphinx as a character, as an entity, as a symbol, as a something or the other. This thing shows up all over history, all over the place, serving a different purpose each time. Also, it doesn't even look the same. So it looks different every time it appears. What I decided to do for the more aesthetic aspects of this creature is adapt the more Egyptian-looking visual style, but have its characteristics be more Greek in nature. What we end up is a body of a lion, wings of a falcon, and head of a humanistic lion, because I tried a human face, and that just does not look nice. So we have this thing that I've created instead, which I still think looks pretty cool. I tried to get the weird head thing in with the weird pharaoh's crown thing in with a block. It's kind of difficult to do. It looks weird, but I think it looks nice. I think it looks creative. Okay, it's thinking outside the box while being in a more stylistically restrained box. I could have made the 3D model a little bit more detailed, but then that wouldn't fit into the Minecraft style. So basically, I know what you're thinking. I've done all of this ethical good, and I don't get rewarded for it? Absolutely logical line of thought. Okay, absolutely perfect. Here's how it works. The Sphinx is kind of your ticket to getting a fortune through your good behavior. When you reach the center of the pyramid, you will find the Sphinx. The Sphinx basically goes, "Answer me these questions 3 and you shall get a bunch of stuff." It will actually do that in my idea of this whole thing. The Sphinx has a variety of questions built into it, and when you approach it, it will ask you 3. And depending upon how many you get right, your future is decided. Hey, look at that! We're back to the Amit part. We're gonna see how it works. Basically, if you get none of the questions right, the Sphinx sends you to the underworld, where you are judged by Amit, and if you're good, you get another chance. If you're bad, you're done. Depending upon whether you get one of them correct, two of them correct, or three of them correct, you will get a certain amount of treasure. The treasure for getting one of these riddles correct is way less than getting two, which is way less than getting three. What this basically does is there is weight behind every question. And the consequence of not getting any of them right is a coin flip between whether you are a good person or a bad person. So I think that I've created a pretty good balance of these creatures where they're majestic and magical enough that they sort of induce the spirit of adventure into all of you, but that they're self-contained enough that they just don't become OP game changers. Here's the thing, I am a massive fan of ancient mythology and ancient history, and I really want to do more of these videos on different parts of the world and their different magical creatures and gods and whatevers. So I want those of you who are still watching to comment down below with what culture or what part of the world you would like me to explore next to do this kind of exercise. This is so fun. But on that note, guys, I hope you've liked, I hope you've commented, and I hope you've subscribed. And for now, a goodbye.